So you want to start dropshipping, or you want to start your own e-commerce business to start making a little bit of extra money throughout the year, but unfortunately, you're broke. You have no money to be able to invest into your business to get started, so you haven't been doing anything up until now. Well, luckily for you, things are about to change, because today I'm going to show you exactly how you can get started dropshipping on eBay using AliExpress as a supplier for completely free. Now, not just that, but a little bit later on in the video, I'm also going to give you a quick tip on how you can start scaling your business and start making even more money with minimal upfront investment. So in order to get started with all of this, the first thing that we're going to need to do is run over to eBay. Now on eBay, we're going to get started dropshipping on here for completely free. But there is a couple of things that we should do prior to this, so that way our account is in good standing from the get-go. And to get started with this, the very first thing that we need to do is run over to eBay and create an account. Now this is the eBay website, and for this, all I'm going to do is simply go ahead and click on either sell or sign in. It doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, it's going to take us to the login screen where we can go ahead and create our account. So new to eBay, create an account. Now for this, we can choose either personal or business. I don't suggest going with business just yet, because you are going to be charged for a business account, and we don't want to do that. We don't need to do that. So let's go ahead and create a personal account. All right, so we went ahead and created our account. So right now we just created our account, but this is really to just purchase, and we're not going to be purchasing anything. We want to sell. So now let's go ahead and click on sell, and we're going to need to list our first item. Now, I highly suggest that you don't get started dropshipping right from the get-go. Look around your house, see if there's anything that you don't mind getting rid of, something that you really don't care about, that you can go ahead and sell just for the first one, maybe 2 times. So here, let's go ahead and click on list an item. And I'm going to go ahead and list this right here. This is actually a shift knob from my old Mustang. I swapped it out for a cooler one, and I kept the original, and it stayed with me the entire time. I really wish I still had that Mustang. But anyway, quick note on this though, it doesn't necessarily have to sell. It's really to just get started on eBay. So you do want to just upload a couple of listings. If they sell, great, you just made a couple bucks. If not, it's fine. It's really, again, just to let eBay know that you're a real person, you're trying to sell on their platform, and you have a few things like this that you are going to be selling, or to make it think that you are going to be selling those. So let's go ahead and start our listing. So we're going to start doing this manually. And really, this is the same exact way we're going to start listing our products that we choose from AliExpress, but a little bit more on that later. So let's go ahead and start our listing. I'm going to write a Mustang shift knob. By the way, I highly do suggest also that you don't sell anything that's copyrighted or anything that is already branded. Now, this is an OEM, or original equipment manufacturer, shift knob from Ford for the Mustang. But it doesn't really say Mustang on it anywhere. It can really just be played off as a regular just shift knob that anybody can purchase. So I'm just putting Mustang shift knob, so that way people know that it is for a Mustang. I really do miss my Mustang. Anyway, let's go ahead and search for that. Now here you're going to have a few different options. This is actually the one that I had switched it out for. And we're really not going to be using any of these. So we can go ahead and choose any one of these. But let's just go ahead and continue without a match. We're going to click on, I guess for this one, we can do used because it is a used one. Continue to listing. And now we need to fill in a few of our details. So these are going to be personal details of ours that we need to let eBay know before we continue listing our products, before we make any sales. And this is mandatory. So let's go ahead and fill this out really fast. All right, so now we need to add a few more things to our listing. So Mustang shift knob for, I think it was 2009 through 2015. Just trying to get this down here to either be in the orange or the green. Mustang manual shift knob for V6 and V8 series. There we go, good length. All right, we can keep it at that for now. Again, doesn't really matter. This is just to create our first listing. So now we need to go to the item specifics. Here we have it as used, photos and videos. Let's go ahead and take a quick picture of this. Right, let me download that image really fast. Now, again, don't laugh at this picture because it's not very good. And this is, again, really just to go ahead and create our first listing. So if you do want it to sell, if there's actually something that you do want to sell, optimize your pictures, make them look a little bit better. But this one, I really don't care if it sells or not. Compatibility, we don't need to do this. I mean, I guess we could put use list, but that's fine. And then let's write a quick description. So actually, you know what? We can use their new AI. So let's do that. The Mustang manual shift knob is a genuine accessory designed specifically for the 2009-2015 V6 and V8 series Mustangs. Let's remove that it's made by the trusted brand Mustang. Start from this. This shift knob is a sleek and high quality addition. Upgrade your shifting experience with this stylish and durable knob. That's actually really good. All right, so we're good on the description. Now let's check out the pricing. So buy it now price is currently set at $30.99. We can go ahead and change this, but again, it doesn't matter if this sells or not. We are gonna go a little bit deeper into these different specifics when we start uploading our products from AliExpress. So for now, let's go ahead and switch it over. Let's do shipping only, package size, and our shipping service. Now, as far as our shipping service, we're always going to want to offer free shipping. This is something that always entices buyers, and it makes them a lot more likely to actually make the purchase. Most of the times people will pay a little bit more for the actual product if it shows that it has free shipping versus a product that's a little bit lower in price, but it has a price for shipping. So for this, since we're going to be drop shipping and AliExpress can sometimes take between 1 to 2 weeks, then I am going to go ahead and give it about a 2 to 3 week grace period. Now it's going to be about 3 to 4 days for the order to process and then 1 to 2 weeks for the actual delivery. For this, we can go ahead and do USPS. And of course, we're also going to do ground because ground is what usually has a bigger grace period or a longer shipping time. Now, who pays? It's going to be the seller who pays. So we're going to pay between $4 to $5. International shipping. This is really going to be dependent on you. Do you want to ship internationally? If you're drop shipping using AliExpress, I suggest that you do, because if you're sourcing your products from China, then chances are your shipping prices aren't going to be too different if you're shipping to Europe or to the US. If there is, it might be a couple bucks, but it's not going to be anything too crazy. But for now, I'm going to keep it off. I'm going to stick to just specifically targeting the US, and you can start like that as well. Make it easier to get started with less logistics. Then we have our delivery details. So where is the item located? In this case, it's showing that it's located in my zip code. The handling time is 2 days and no returns accepted. Let's go ahead and change this. Let's do the handling time to about 3 business days. And let's accept domestic returns because we always want to ensure our buyers that if they're not happy with the product, then we'll take it back and we'll give them a refund. So domestic returns, we can give them 13 days. Let's do 14 days. And then return delivery paid by the seller. So if the seller does want to return it, they're going to be the ones that have to pay for the shipping. Now click on done. And then we can choose to promote our listing. We're not going to do that just yet. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Then we have our listing preferences. So let's go ahead and change this. And then we're just going to keep it as is. So payments managed by eBay. Let's go ahead and save that. Leave it as is. Charity, if you want to donate to charity some of your proceeds, then go ahead. But I'm going to leave that off for now. And that's it. You can see here that we can list the item for free. Let's go ahead and list it. Now, again, we do need to confirm a couple of extra account details. This isn't something you're going to have to do more than once. So after your first listing is officially live, you're not going to have to do any of these things anymore. So let's go ahead and confirm everything looks good. Now we're going to have to verify. So I'm going to go ahead and verify a text message that they're going to send over. All right, that's it. So now we need to set up our payouts. So how are we going to get paid? If we don't do this, eBay's pretty much just going to keep our money, which we don't want that to happen. So let's go ahead and set up our payouts really fast. Now, do you want to get paid via bank account or a debit card? I suggest just going with bank account because if you get paid with a debit card, it tells you here you pay a $2 fee for every single payout, but you do get your money pretty much instantly within an hour. Here it says within 30 minutes, but just give it a grace period of an hour. And then bank account, get your funds within 1 to 3 business days, but you don't pay anything. So it's up to you. Do you mind paying the $2 for a faster payout? Maybe at the beginning it'll work for you, but I'm okay with waiting. So I'm gonna do bank account and then continue. Now from here, I can go ahead and set everything up. I suggest that you do, but I'm gonna skip it for just right now. Now we do need to provide some personal info, so let's go ahead and give them our birthday and our social. All right, that's it. So it says welcome to selling. Let's go ahead and go. We are good. We officially have 1 active listing. Let's go ahead and check it out. Here under the active listings, under activity, under my eBay, we can see our Mustang shift knob. And this is what it looks like. So if somebody looks for a Mustang shift knob and they like the image, they click on it, this is what they see. So up here's our information. We have the condition, the buy it now. People can make an offer. So if somebody offers $25 and I think it's worth it, I can go ahead and accept that. We have a return policy, our delivery, and our shipping. Now this is showing that it's located in Florida, which is where I'm shipping from. But since we're going to be sourcing some products from China, we are going to make a few adjustments. So scroll down a little bit more. You have the item specifics, and that's pretty much it. We can actually make the sale and start making some money. So the next thing we need to do before we start posting our second listing is, well, let's go ahead and click on sell one more time. Let's list an item again. And now we can go to AliExpress. Now on AliExpress, I suggest that you actually go ahead and create an account. And if you can, if you have the budget for it, purchase anything. The reason I'm telling you to do this is because, let me show you. So I'm going to register with a new account. All right, so let's actually go into the spam folder. So Just so you know, if you don't see the email in your regular inbox, just go to your spam. And obviously mark it as not spam so you can keep getting updates on any orders that you place from them for your customers. So 9430 is our code. Let's create our password and we should finish up from here. All right, so let's look for the same thing. Let's look for a Mustang shift knob. Actually, let's look for a manual car shift knob. Usually these are universal, so we can go ahead and choose any one of these. It doesn't really matter. Let's check out these right here. I've seen these pretty popular. So this is one thing that you really need to keep in mind. Where it says welcome deal, it's giving you a special price of 99 cents. Now, typical price is $3.31. It's not a huge difference, but there are going to be a few products that are pretty deeply discounted as welcome deals. And you want to avoid welcome deals, or at least you want to avoid the pricing for the welcome deals. So that's why I say make a purchase if you can. Because if we look at the same product on an account that I'm already signed in and I have made purchases from in the past, we can see that we don't have a welcome deal. It's $3.31. So let's say that you base your pricing on these 99 cents, assuming that you're going to be sourcing this every single time for 99 cents. You're going to lose money because these 99 cents are only going to be for the first time. And then afterwards, you will be charged $3.31. And then also, welcome deals apply for just one purchase or your first purchase on AliExpress. So whether it's this or something a lot more high ticket, the first time that you use that welcome deal, after that, you're not going to have access to it anymore. But you are going to have access to a lot of other deals, which can sometimes kind of get confusing because AliExpress a lot of the times has some sort of sale going on. That sale will always have this right here crossed out, and then it'll show you a sale price, which again, sometimes can fluctuate, sometimes it won't. So I suggest either going with the actual retail price or just looking around AliExpress. So we can just, again, go back to our manual car shift knob and then just checking out the average pricing on here. Now, again, these are all welcome deals. So let's look at it through here. And you see, now it has an anniversary sale, and apparently it ends in a few days. But we can simply just go ahead and use this page and kind of more or less get an idea of an average based on pricing. A lot of the times, some of these products are going to have a pretty much permanent sale price, just so that way they can get you to purchase. And little by little, you'll start to notice which products have that, and on average, which products actually have the sale price as the regular price, pretty much. But for now, let's continue with our shift knob. So we already have the first one listed, so let's look for another one. So I am going to go ahead and choose one like, let's say, this one right here. Let's say Halloween's coming up. This would be a pretty good option to be able to sell during that time. So here we can see that it's running at $8.32. Regular price is usually $13.86. Let's go ahead and run to eBay really fast and see if we can find what they're running for. All right, so this one's running for $134, but it has Ghostface on it. Again, we're not supposed to be selling any of that, but I mean, I guess you can kind of say that it's a similar style because it is kind of scary, or in the horror franchise. We have this cool smiling one, which is representative of Jack Skellington. This one's running for $34. Here it is, $156. That's insane. This one's also running for $135. Wow. Wait, but those two are the same sellers. $140, same seller. This one's actually really cool, but $23. So on average, we can probably say that we can sell it for maybe $30 to about $40 or $50. But if we do want to see a bit more proof as to how much it's being sold for with listings that actually have sold, we can go here where it says show only, click on see all, and then look for sold items right here. Click on apply. And now we're only going to see products that have sold. So here we can see that the Jack Skellington one did sell for about $17. Another one for about $16. Here we have more of a basic one that's kind of a bit more representative than of the one that we have. And this one sold on auction for, I believe, $50 with a $100 buy it now. Let's just look at a few more really fast. This one's an 80, but it's a lot fancier. 25. Okay, so I would feel pretty comfortable saying that we can sell our product, I want to say between $30 to $50. So now if we run back over to our AliExpress listing, the one that has the ghost shift knob, even though we can see the welcome deal or anniversary sale, whichever one they're promoting right now at $8.32, we can assume that if we're purchasing it at $13.36, let's go ahead and pull out our handy dandy calculator. So if we sell it for $30, we need to take into consideration about, I think it's 13% in terms of fees for eBay. So that'll be $3.09. So 30 minus $3.90 minus the item cost, which is $13.36, we'd be making a profit of $12.74. And that is right on point with what we want to make. So on average, when it comes to our profits, we want to make sure that we sell our products, or that we find products that we can sell at about 2 to 2.5 times what we source them for. For the most part, that will be taking into consideration and helping us out with all of our fees. So that way we're always in the positive and we're always making money. So in this case, this would be perfect. So $12.74 from a $13.86 investment after fees. So not bad. Oh wait, but this one actually has an $8 shipping. So let's go ahead and click on this really fast. And let's see if there's any cheaper shipping. So the standard shipping here is $8 via AliExpress standard shipping. Then we have another one which is SG Air, and then it just keeps going up from there. So we'll be okay with the $8 shipping. So let's take that one into consideration as well. So subtract $8. So in this case, we make a profit of $4.74. But that's thinking that we're going to sell it at $30. In this case, what we can do is we can increase our prices by $5 to $10 to take into consideration the shipping fee, which let's say we increase it by $10. So instead of selling it at $30, we'll be selling at $40. This means we'll have an extra $10. So we'll still be making a profit of $14.74. Now we are still in the price range that we can sell it for. So remember we said it was about 30 to about 40 bucks. So we're still pretty good. Although in this case, I might drop it down to 35 and just lose an extra $5, but still making some decent profits off of a basic shift knob. So now we chose our product. Now what do we need to do? Well, we need to transfer over all of this information to our eBay listing. So now we need to go back to eBay and continue creating our listing. So here we have a universal shift knob. That's what we're going to be selling. And we can, was it a manual? It doesn't really matter if it's a manual or not, but let's just do universal shift knob. We can go ahead and search that. Continue without a match. This one is going to be new. Continue to listing. Now, universal shift knob. Let's go ahead and optimize our title. So for this, to make it easier for you, let's run over to ChatGPT and just ask it for an optimized title. So please give me an optimized title for eBay, for an eBay listing, for a universal shift knob that is in the shape of a ghost. So universal ghost shape shift knob, unique custom car gear stick handle. Perfect. So let's go ahead and add that there. Now, the only thing I would suggest is maybe putting manual and automatic, but the way it is, it's all right. Actually, while we're at it, you know what? Also, please give me a optimized description. So while it's doing that, let's go ahead and run back to eBay. So the condition is new. The brand, we can go ahead and leave it as custom or just unbranded. Click on more details, see if there's anything else we could add. So it's a shift knob. The type is universal. The color, are there multiple variations? Yes. We have white, black, red, green, blue, purple, and silver. So color, we can choose one, but since we have different ones, we can just go ahead and set different variations for this. Then a material, that's not gonna matter. OEM part number. Yeah, everything else here doesn't really matter. We don't need this. Now we need to upload a few photos and a few videos. Now this is where it kind of gets tricky with AliExpress, because we can go ahead and click here. We can click on save as, and then you see how here it says web page complete. We can't use that. So what we need to do is go to the description, view more, and then we can go ahead and save the images from here. So we can go ahead and save the image. And then sometimes it even then won't give us a JPEG or a PNG file. So what we do in this case is we can zoom out a little bit so we can get the entire thing in the frame. And we're just going to do a screen capture. So we can do it like this. Then we're going to go here, upload from computer. And then we're going to have to do that for every one of the different pictures that we want to upload. So let's do it for this one also, because this gives measurements. Measurements are very important, especially for these kinds of products. Let's do it for this one too, so we can get a second angle. And now let's do the black, because obviously we're going to have to also show black. Actually, you know what? If we keep scrolling down in the description, we'll see it there too. So we're going to do blue. We're going to do black and gold. We can wait off on the other ones for a little bit because it's just going to take way too long. Upload from computer. Now, obviously this is taking quite some time. And if you're going to be uploading multiple products, this is going to take a lot longer than you would like it to. But there are a few different ways for you to be able to pretty much upload your products from AliExpress to eBay in literally just a matter of seconds. And I'll get to that in just a second. Let's just go ahead and finish up this listing, and then I'll show you the shortcut. So we have a few different pictures, a few different angles, and a few different variations. So right now we're just going to be doing white, black, blue, and yellow or gold. Compatibility, that doesn't really matter. Let's go back to ChatGPT. Let's take what it told us. Obviously, right now I'm just copying and pasting. I do suggest that you read through everything and make sure it's accurate. Yeah, that looks good. All right. So pricing. It's telling us to do pricing of about $15, but we already said we're going to sell it for about $35 to $40 so we can make sure that we make a profit of at least about 10 to 15 bucks. So here, let's go ahead and change this. And let's switch this over to 40. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm also going to allow an offer. So if somebody sees it and they see $40 isn't a bad price, they can click on buy it now. But if they think, oh, maybe they'll take $35 for it, then I'll take 35 bucks for it. So in this case, I can go ahead and allow offers, enter the minimum price you'll consider, 35. It's only a $5 difference, but some people will bid that. Now, quantity, enter how many you're selling. If it's more than one, I mean, we can have a quantity of maybe 10, and then each time somebody makes a purchase, it'll go down. Or we can simply just relist the product, and it'll pretty much show as if it's a 1 of 1. So I'm just going to leave quantity off for now. Shipping only, package size. This is going to be dependent on the product itself, and it's also going to depend on your supplier. So if we look on our listing, we're not really going to get much information on this, unfortunately. But it's not really going to matter. So let's do a weight of, let's just do a pound just to have something on here. 1084, that's fine. Because in the end, we're not going to be purchasing anything or any shipping services through eBay. It's all going to be coming directly from our supplier. So UPS ground, we can leave that as is. Seller pays, says we're going to be paying between $5 to $10. We're not because, I mean, I guess, yeah, because we're paying $8. International shipping, we'll leave that off. And then delivery details. So this is what we do need to change, because depending on our listing and depending on where it's coming from, eBay might not like the fact that we're saying that it's coming from, let's say, a US zip code, and then it notices based on the tracking number that it's coming from China. So let's go ahead and change this. Let's go ahead and edit the item location, and then we're going to look for China. Now, there's a lot of different resources we can use to be able to find Chinese addresses, but if you just Google Chinese address generator, you can find a few. So let's say, let's just do something simple. Shanghai company, find Chinese address. By the way, I'm going to have all of this in an easy to reference cheat sheet for you. And if you want access to that, just drop a comment with the hashtag eBay dropshipping and let me know what your takeaways from this video. And I'll give you access to the cheat sheet, which is going to include everything I'm talking about here. So from here, we have our address. So this is going to be our address, our postal code, and everything we need. So the city and state here is going to be, let's go ahead and put Shanghai, postal code 745577. Handling time, we are going to put the 3 days, leave that as is, and we should be good here. So let's go ahead and click on done. Now we can go ahead and run back down. By the way, promoted listings. This is one thing that I forgot to cover. So with promoted listings, there's two different ways that you can do this. Now we can go ahead and turn this on, and we can do a promoted listing, which this is my favorite way of doing it. They have the standard and the advanced way of doing it. The advanced is more like running Facebook ads, where you're going to set a budget right from the beginning, and eBay is going to take that budget and it's going to start showing your products to more customers. So the more people see your product and the more people click on it, the more of your budget is going to be used. I don't like to do that. I like to do the standard, which is this one, which pretty much means that you're going to set a percentage of your sale that eBay is going to take once the product is sold. Not when somebody clicks on the product, not when somebody just sees the product on their feed. This is actually going to come out only once it's sold. So let's say this product sells, we sell it for $40. Then eBay is going to take its final value fees of 13%, which we already took into consideration. But then because we were running an ad, or we were running this product as a promoted product, it'll take 12% extra, or 9.6 or 14.4, or you can select your ad rate and just leave it at a base of 10%. But again, this is something that you are going to have to take into consideration when you're pricing your products. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and leave this off because I did not take that into consideration. And now let's click on list it. And I still have to set up my payouts, but at least our listing is live. People can make this purchase already. So let's go ahead and view our listing. So this is our listing. And as you can see, everything here is set to the way that we had mentioned. So we have the different variations and we have our different images. It's running for $40. But if we notice, we don't have the variations on here. So it actually kind of slipped by me as I was creating the listing because I didn't see the option for variations. And before, as we're going through this, there used to be a little option down here that would say variations. Now, I did a lot of digging around, a lot of poking around, and I can't seem to find a clear answer as to why I can't set the different variations. But there were a few things that were suggested. For one, check the category. Some categories will offer variations while others won't. T-shirts are one of those that always offer variations. And I looked for t-shirts right here and I looked for the variations tab and it's not on here. The other option was to click over here in the settings and then turn on variations manually through here, which again is something that's not being shown. So let me know if you see this on your screen or as you're setting up your listing. Do you have the variations tab? If not, or if so, just let me know down in the comments below, because I'm pretty curious about this. This is interesting because I remember being able to set variations in the past. But anyway, things change. So in this case, what we want to do is we would want to just go ahead and revise our listing really fast. And then we can just go ahead and delete these. So we can remove these, we can remove that one, and we can remove that one. Now just revise it. And that's it. So our listing will only show the white variation for this. Now, I do suggest that if you do want to offer the other ones, which I highly suggest that you do, you just create separate listings for each one. Now, the good thing about this is that you can go ahead and go to my eBay, look at your active selling ones, and then you can sell similar. So you'll pretty much have everything already pretty much set up. All you have to do is just change a couple of things, like maybe change the keywords to include the color, and then change your different images. And that'll pretty much be it. From here, you can just simply go ahead and leave everything as is, because everything will be copied over, and then you can list the next variation like this. So this is a quick workaround. And now as you upload more and more products, people are going to be looking at your listings, and eventually somebody could make a purchase. So in that case, what you're going to have to do is go to your supplier. In this case, this is our supplier from AliExpress. By the way, if you have a lot of listings, I highly suggest that you start a spreadsheet with your product links, the supplier link, and your eBay store link. So that way you have everything organized and you don't have to go crazy looking for a different supplier every single time that you make a sale. So from here, what we would need to do is simply go to add to cart, and then you can go ahead and check out. Now from here, you simply just go ahead and check out. And instead of putting your shipping address, of course, you're going to use a shipping address that your customer provides you. Now from there, all you're going to need to do is take the tracking number once you get that order and update eBay with it. And that's pretty much it. That's how you can start dropshipping from AliExpress to eBay in just a few minutes, really, because it doesn't take that long. What does take long is actually importing multiple products. As you saw, it took us maybe 5-ish minutes. It might not seem that long if you're just doing one product, but if you're doing multiple products, if you're doing multiple variations, and you want to upload as many products as you can to eBay, which I do suggest that you do, because eBay is really a numbers game. The more that you can upload to there, the more chances you have of being found. Now, quick note on that part. You are going to be restricted to a certain number of listings per month at the beginning. So what I suggest you do is you go ahead and start uploading multiple products. And as you start to reach that limit, you reach out to eBay and ask them to raise your limits. This is really easy. And most of the times, 9 times out of 10, they will go ahead and increase those limits for you. Now, how can we speed everything up and just make it a lot more quicker to do, a lot quicker to upload your products, and a lot quicker and safer to fulfill your orders? So check this out. For this, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using AutoDS. Now, AutoDS is a paid service, but it streamlines and automates your entire dropshipping store. And the best part is that this is not limited to just eBay. You can use this for eBay, Shopify, Etsy, Wix, or WooCommerce, or even Amazon. So check it out. So for this, what you would need to do is go to AutoDS.com. And right now you can get started with AutoDS for just $1 for the next 2 weeks. So that way you still have a very minimal upfront investment. Really, it's just going to be $1. And then once your 2 weeks are over, you should already have a good amount of products already uploaded to your store. And if you're making sales, you can easily make back the money that you're going to be using for the subscription on AutoDS. And again, you'll have pretty much everything on autopilot and everything will be done for you within minutes. So once you're on AutoDS, the first thing you're going to need to do is go ahead and up here, it'll tell you to add store. For me, it already has the store included because I have multiple stores on here. But from here, what you would need to do is click on add store and then click on eBay store and go to continue. Here you can go ahead and finish, and then it'll redirect you to eBay where you can go ahead and set up the connection. It's very easy and very straightforward. After this, you just go ahead and sign in and everything will be connected. Now from here, this is where all the magic happens. So you can even find trending products on here. So you don't even have to look through AliExpress, even though we can still upload products from AliExpress, and it'll be a lot faster than what you saw earlier. So I'm going to give you a quick overview on this. So the marketplace is going to offer lots of different suppliers or lots of different products from different suppliers, like all of the ones you see here. So we even have AliExpress included on here, and Amazon and DHgate, and even a few retailers as well, like Walmart. But the one that shines is the AutoDS suppliers. These are private suppliers that AutoDS works with that are thoroughly vetted for quality and shipping speeds. So that way your customers will get some really high quality products in pretty much an instant. You have some pretty quick shipping speeds. Now you can also filter everything out over here based on your niche or your category of what you want to sell. But we can just go ahead and look for any of these. And let's look for something that actually has a bonus, which is the branding. So I just chose the home improvement and tools to kind of keep it at, the whole home and cars stuff. So the first one we see here is customizable branding. So this one right here, you can see that it has customizable branding. And then once we click into it, this is the product. Gives you all of the information that you need, all of the different images, and a quick description of it. So this is the description that the supplier includes. Now with the branding, what ends up happening is when this product is shipped out to your customer is going to receive it with a custom thank you card with your logo on it. And the invoice is also going to show your logo on it. So that way it adds a nice little personal touch with the thank you card, and it makes you look a lot more professional with the logo on your invoice. Now, let's say this is a product that we want to check out. This is one that we want to offer in our store. We already did our research. We saw that we can go ahead and sell it at the price that we want to and still make a profit. We can see that our shipping and processing time is 4 to 6 business days. So it gets to our customers really fast, and it's shipping from the US. So from here, all we really need to do is click on import draft, and that's it. Everything's going to be imported to our draft section before it goes live to our store. So let's run to the draft section really fast. And while that one is uploading, I'm just going to go ahead and show you a different one. So let's click onto this one really fast. And this is really what you would see. So this is a automatic cat water fountain that I still have to edit the listing details on it. But on here, you can go ahead and change your title using AI as well. So let's just go ahead and leave everything as is. But just so you know, you can choose a tone so it sounds a bit more professional, sellable, or funny, and a balance. And the temperature. So it's going to sound more balanced. It can get a bit more creative, or it can get more precise based on what you're giving it. So then here it changes over our title and makes it a lot more optimized and a lot more legible, really. So we can click on save. Then we have our category. So what category it's going to be uploaded to, any tags. These tags are going to be for us though. It's not going to be anything that has to do with eBay. This is just so we can keep track of our analytics and our shipping methods. I always suggest that you go cheapest with tracking because that's going to be the cheapest option that does include tracking. If you go with cheapest, chances are you might not get tracking. If you go with fastest with tracking, you're going to be paying a lot of money for shipping that might be the same speed as the cheapest with tracking. Then this is where we have a nice little bonus for you. So here you can use dynamic policies. So your policies will be set by AutoDS based on what the supplier sets through AutoDS. So here we can go ahead and change anything as well. This is something that I always keep on. So our additional handling days will be about 5 business days. You can increase this if you want. The country location, if it's coming from China, we can set it to China. If it's coming from the US, we can set it to the US, and the default zip code that it comes from. In this one in particular does come from China. So I'm going to leave everything as is. And then we can keep track of our stock, our price, and our auto orders. Meaning if our supplier runs out, we can set this so that way when our supplier reaches 0 inventory, so does ours. So that way we don't sell a product that we don't have in stock or that our supplier doesn't have in stock. Same thing goes for price monitoring. If our supplier increases their product by 10%, we can set it to also increase by 10% or a little bit more or a little bit less. The description, here we have the description that's set by the supplier. I always delete these extra images that are included, and then I optimize the description with AI. So pretty much the description that we got from ChatGPT, we can get an even more optimized one that's specific for eBay and for selling through here. And again, everything is directly through the AutoDS page. Then we have our variants tab. So with the different variations, as you saw earlier, sometimes they don't necessarily work. So what I like to do here is I like to remove all of them except for one. So we can go ahead and delete this one. We can keep this one over here, click on edit, and then we have our pricing calculator. So as you can see, it's already taken into consideration 13% in fees. I want to make about a 60% profit after the fees, which means I'm going to be making $26.77 already excluding the 13% in fees. And I'm going to be selling the product at $81.83. So this is really good because it helps take all of the guesswork out of your pricing. And trust me, pricing, it gets annoying, especially when you want to start taking into consideration the fees, your shipping, and all that stuff. This is all done for you automatically through here. Then you have your images. You can go ahead and add, delete, or edit images here. And that's pretty much it. Once you're ready for this product to go live in your store, all you do is click on save and import, and the product will be automatically imported to your store, ready for people to make a purchase. Now, when you get an order, you can click on the orders tab over here, and you'll see exactly when you got the order, who ordered it, what stage of the process your order is in, and literally everything else. So here we have one product that it's showing the delivery status is already delivered, but when I first got it in, it wasn't pending. Now, you remember how I showed you earlier auto order? That's where this comes in. So when it first comes in, it's on pending. And then if you have auto order turned on, then AutoDS will automatically order this product for you using a balance that you have up here. That's using the feature called fulfilled by AutoDS. Now that's if auto order is turned on. If you don't want to do that, you can go ahead and turn it off. So that way it'll stay in pending until you go ahead and switch it to ordered and send it to be ordered. Besides that, it'll also update when it's shipped. And when it's shipped, it'll also give you a tracking number which we can see over here on the corner. Then if the order is canceled, or if you want to cancel it, you just click on cancel. And then if your customer wants to return the product, that's very easy. All you have to do is click on request return. This you do have to do manually. So you click on request return, and within 24 hours, if the product is still eligible for return, then you'll have a shipping label in your inbox and on here as well that you can download and send to your customer. So that way they can send it back to the supplier. Now, one thing that I do really like about auto orders is the fact that it eliminates any user error. It's happened to me a lot of the times where I accidentally hit a wrong number or a wrong letter and the product goes to a completely different customer. In that case, I lost that one product. I lost another product, which I have to send to the original customer. And at that point, I'm already losing money. And also my customer might be upset because one, it's taking a lot longer, and two, I went to the wrong person. So that's a huge benefit that you have with using a service like AutoDS. You really streamline your entire dropshipping process, something that can take you hours to do, into just a few minutes. And trust me when I say that, importing products, if you want to import 10, 20 products a day, you're going to be doing this for hours on end. Using a service like AutoDS really speeds everything up a lot, giving you back a lot of time that you can use to either just continue product research, uploading more products, or just simply kicking back and chilling. So that's pretty much everything that you need to know on how you can dropship from AliExpress to eBay for pretty much completely free, and then even automate your entire dropshipping business for minimal upfront investment. So that way you can start scaling pretty quickly. What did you think of today's video? Let me know down in the comments below. Remember, you have access to the cheat sheet. All you have to do is just go ahead and leave a comment with the hashtag that's down here and your takeaway from this video. Huge thank you once again to everyone for watching. If you enjoyed this video, if you found any value in it, make sure you leave a like, subscribe. And with that, my name is Mario with AutoDS, and I'll catch y'all next time.